Hi, this is the first lesson in which we will describe how to work with the Antidetect system. Now it's 24th of March and at 20th of March I released a new version of the Antidetect, which name is Antidetect Owasp. And this version is very different from the previous. This version is I think more different than any another version of the Antidetect. So now we will describe how to install it and how to work with it. And Antidetect Owasp version has no public release. It's only personal version. And on the next steps you will find out why. So first, as you see on my screen, there is a computer with the host operating system Windows 10. I don't recommend you to use Windows 8, Windows 8.1 or Windows 7 to work with the Antidetect system, because your chances to install correctly my software will be reduced maybe to the 30 or 40%. So now I recommend you to download operating system Windows 10 from the official Microsoft website. And after that, after you install it, we need to prepare it a little bit. First we need to do is to enable test mode. Why we need to enable test mode and what is it? In Windows, after version 7, after Windows 7, each driver which was installed on our operating system must be digitally signed by the Microsoft company. In my case, in case of the Antidetect, we cannot use digitally signed drivers because Microsoft prohibited to sign drivers for some kind of Antidetects. So that's why we need to turn on test mode to have ability to install our drivers, which is inside our Antidetect system. How can we turn on test mode? First, we need to find start button, right mouse click on the start button, and you will see Windows Powershell from the admin. Click on it, and now we have a PowerShell which was launched from the administrator user. And as you see in the start of our command prompt, we see the index PS. That means PowerShell. Now we need to switch PowerShell to the command line. We can use it simply just by entering CMD combination, and after that click enter, and as you see in the start of our prompt, index PS was disappeared and we have pure command prompt. But be sure that you launched it from the admin, because you must be in the drive C, Windows folder and System32 subfolder. In any other cases you will not be able to turn on the test mode. So now, after we launched our command prompt from the admin, which name is bcd edit, and after that we must set some option to this software to launch it. So we will set the command just set, spacebar, and after that test signing, and test signing inputted not the test signing, I was inputted test signing. That means I wanna sing a song with it in the test mode. It's not right. So it will be test. Yeah, that's better. And when you enter bcd edit set test sign-in on, you will see that operation was completed successfully. But in some cases on modern computers, you will not be able to switch to the test mode, because you will see that this policy is prohibited by the security by the security of your computer. It happens if inside your BIOS or inside your WiFi shell there is an option which name is secure boot, and this option was enabled. So if you are not able to use the test mode to switch your operating system to the test mode, you must enter your BIOS, find option which name is secure boot, and turn it off. After that, in some cases you will be able to switch it off only after you will set the password inside the BIOS. Yeah, but I think you can make it by yourself and it's not a big problem, but you must know it. So after that, after our test mode was successfully enabled, we must restart our PC, and when we load our operating system after restart, we will see in the right bottom corner, we will see the test mode sign. You see this on my screen right now. Okay, after that we can proceed to step number 2. Step number 2 is installing certificates, installing digital certificates of our software. How can we get it? We have our exe file of the Antidetect, press right mouse button on it and go to properties. After that, digital signatures, and you see here there is a 2 certificate. We must install both of them. Those certificates are needed also by our drivers. So double click on the first certificate. We see the button which name is view certificate. Click on it, install certificate, and we must switch from the stored location from the current user to the local machine. Press next. After that, we must place all certificates in the following store, and we must choose it by ourselves. In all of the stores, we need to choose trusted root certification authorities. Only this store will make our software to work. Yeah, so okay, and that's it. The same operation we must do with the certificate number 2. Click on it, double click, yeah, view certificate, install certificate, local machine, next, following store. So now our computer is almost completely ready to work, but in some cases people has problem with the Antidetect, just like with the any another regular virtual machine. Sometimes there is an errors in the runtime of the virtual machine. Why it happens? In our virtual machine, our main resource is the operating memory. So in our operating memory, all of the information is inside the grid. Each grid cell has his own addressation. For example, 001B or 2020-22 E, for example. Yeah. So in our host PC, yeah, we can have some malicious software, we can have some antivirus software, something like that, and our PC, our main PC, can be simply old. So first, before install the Antidetect, we need to check our memory. How can we do this? Just click on the search, control panel, yeah, here. Go to the System and Security, Administrative Tools. Here we can find the tool which name is Windows Memory Diagnostic. As you see, when you launch Windows Memory Diagnostic tool, there is a two options now and check for problems, and the second one is check for problems the next time I start my computer. But we don't need to wait, so we will choose the first option. And after we choose the first option, our operating system is going to the reboot, and after the reboot, in the DOS mode, will be launched Windows Memory Diagnostic test. In this test, you must pay attention on the errors, and if you will see some errors, you need to take a photo on your mobile phone, take a photo of the error, and send it directly to me inside my Telegram. Only after that I can help you. In other cases, I can't know what is the source of your problem. So my memory now is completely clean and completely working, so I don't need to start this tool, and I can just proceed to the Antidetect installation process. So we have our main installation file, for example, and we see the installation wizard. So click next. On the step number 2 of the installation, we can choose VirtualBox components. So it's just Antidetect components, but I didn't rename it. And we see we have 3 components. First component is VirtualBox USB support, the second is VirtualBox networking, and the third is VirtualBox Python support. In some cases, people cannot start the test mode. They cannot start the test mode. For example, if I didn't know password from the BIOS, or they maybe use some kind of online games on their host operating system, and they cannot switch to the test mode. In those cases, we can just leave standard Windows mode, do not switch to the test mode, and just click on the components, VirtualBox USB support, and select entire future will be unavailable. And the same thing is with the VirtualBox networking. Entire future will be unavailable. In this case, Virtual Antidetect will be installed without test mode, so you can use it. But I don't recommend you to do this if you be able to use VirtualBox with the test mode. So I will switch it on and click next. Also pay attention that our Antidetect will take around 400 megabytes on your hard drive. So if you hasn't it, please install it. Please select another folder or another drive, to have your free memory on the drive C. I have a lot of memory on drive C, so I can proceed. So click next, yes, and install. After that, the installation process will start. It's pretty simple. We just need to wait. It's around 10 seconds, something like that, And as you see, our Antidetect system is successfully installed. But before we will start to create our Mothership system, we need to check our VirtualBox virtual machine folder. So we go to the file menu, preferences, and as you see, default machine folder. Default machine folder is on the drive C inside your user folder, and if you has enough free space on the drive C, you must choose another folder. If you will set this option when your virtual machine will be created, yeah, you will not be able to use previously created virtual machines. So pay attention on it, and better it will be set before you will start your work. So now we can create our mothership system. What is the mothership system? In our working algorithm, we will create only one system. This is main system, and this name is mothership. We will create it, we will set it up, we will install all of the hardware what we need in our work, and after that we will turn off this machine and will never turn it on. We will create clones. We will create clones, and each clone will be completely new operating system with a completely new hardware. So now we can start creating our mothership system. Click on the new, yeah, and we need to choose operating system. We have an Android and we have an Microsoft Windows. So we will choose Microsoft Windows, Windows 10, and for example it will be US mothership, something like that, yeah. After we enter the name of the virtual machine, we click next and select memory size. As you see on this PC, I have 16 gigabytes of the operating memory. So how many machines I can launch if I will choose 4 gigabytes memory size of the virtual machine? How do you think? I can launch only 3 machines same time, because each machine will take 4 gigabytes. That means 3 machines will take 12 gigabytes, yeah, and 4 gigabytes will left to the host operating system, because our host operating system also need some memory to correct work. So I will left 4 gigabytes, but for the speed it will be better to be increased to the 8 gigabytes. After that, click next, and we will create the hard disk, our virtual hard disk. There is 3 types of the hard disk. Hard disk type VDI, hard disk type VHD, and hard disk type VMDK. What is the difference? VDI is just pretty simple VirtualBox hard drive, and I have nothing to say about it. Yeah, just regular virtual hard drive. VHD, virtual hard disk, can be used also by the VMware, Hyper-V, and regular VirtualBox system. And the third, VMDK. This format is very flexible, and you can choose your partition. For example, you can convert your hard disk drive from the MBR to the GPT, or you can choose, you can increase the memory of your hard disk, or you can decrease it, and much more, any other options. But we don't need it, so I recommend you to leave the VDI and click next. On this step, we need to choose the type of our hard disk drive. We can choose dynamically allocated, or we can choose fixed size. What can we need? What do we need? If you will choose fixed size, on the next step, we will set, for example, 65 gigabytes. If we choose fixed size, that means when machine will be created from your host hard drive, 65 gigabytes. But if you choose dynamically allocated, that means when we create machine, the piece of the maybe 5 megabytes will be coded from your host operating from your host hard drive. What is the difference between those methods? When you choose fixed size, the 65 gigabytes or any other amount that you set will be coded when machine will be created, and this is the maximum amount of our virtual drive. If we will choose dynamically allocated, that means after we create machine, it will take, for example, 5 megabytes. Yeah? After we will install Windows, it will take 22, 23 gigabytes. If we install, for example, Microsoft Office, it will take additional, I don't know, 2 or 3 gigabytes. That means dynamically allocated will take free place of your hard disk, host hard disk drive when it will be needed, and 65 gigabytes or any other amount that you set will be the maximum amount that virtual machine can take from your host hard drive. If you will work with the browsers, you can use dynamically allocated. If you will work with the local software, for example PokerStars or AdWords editor or some kind of bank systems, yeah, we need to choose fixed size, because one of the option which is presented in the virtual machine tests, like Powershell, like Alcacer, this option detects virtual machine by enumerating the number of free clusters on your hard disk. So if you don't want to be caught, then you need to choose fixed size. But in our cases, I will left dynamically allocated. Click next, and after that we must choose the size of our virtual hard disk. So this size will be or coded just right now if you choose fixed size on the previous step, or this will it will be maximum amount of the virtual hard disk drive if you will choose the dynamically allocated. So I will left 65 gigabytes and click create. Yeah, that's it. Our Mothership System platform was created, but it's not ready to work, so we need to set it up a little bit. Press right mouse button on the name, click settings, and go to the system and uncheck the floppy checkbox. Yeah, you see here the floppy checkbox is needed only for the Linux systems. After that, goes to the processor, enable memory. Yeah, you see 4 gigabytes. After that, goes to the storage, and if you have your hard disk drive SSD or M2 hard disk, you need to turn on host input output cache. It will increase your virtual machine speed and around 20% of the speed will be increased. But if you have standard hard disk drive HDD, yeah, you need to uncheck it. Yeah, this option will need to be unchecked, because if you have standard HDD and you will turn on this option, it will reduce the speed of your virtual machine maybe around 30 or 40%. So pay attention on it. And the main option on the setting is on the network. What is it? You see that we has network adapter attached to the NAT, to NAT. What is it? We have different types of our network connection, and the default is NAT. It's local network. That means it's local network inside your computer. And this is the biggest problem of the VirtualBox. Why? There is an after I think after November of previous year 2019, top anti-fraud system like an Amazon, like a PayPal, eBay, Capone, Discover, Google, Booking, and many others, they started the project with the DPI inspection. That means all of the packets which came to the, for example, we take an Amazon, yeah, all of the packets which will go to the Amazon will be completely inspected by the DPI system, Deep Packet Inspection. And because you choose NAT in the VirtualBox settings, that means all of your input and output packets will be modified by the VirtualBox. And in this case, the Amazon and many another anti-fraud system can detect that you use virtual machine. And this is the biggest problem. If you will use Antidetect, for example, with some simple website, some simple, maybe you will try to buy porn or play some low-rate casino or something like that, yeah, you can use NAT, and that's not problem. But if you try to defeat most powerful anti-fraud systems, you need to change your network type from the NAT to the Bridget adapter. When you choose Bridget adapter, that means in your home network, for example, you has your router, yeah, you has your mobile phone which connects center or admin panel, yeah, you can see all of the devices and you will see separately each virtual machine. So we need to choose Bridget adapter to prevent inspecting our packets, inspecting our traffic by the top anti-fraud system, and we need to hide that we use virtual machine. We need to hide our virtual machine from the deep packet inspection tools. So we choose Bridget adapter, and for example, I will take a bridge to my Broadcom network adapter. Yeah, choose this, click OK, and that's it. Our virtual machine is completely ready to install operating system. This our mothership, those steps that we do was named platform. That means now we successfully create the platform for the virtual machine, and our mothership platform is ready to install the operating system. In the next lesson, we will proceed to the installation process and we will install operating system, and I will completely describe you the installation process of the Windows. Thank you for your attention.